in the Camp Straight development. If they build those infrastructure projects, those streets and roads for 17 million, that's the cap, whatever that cost is. If they build them for 25 million, it's capped at 20. And so they'll get reimbursement out of their future revenues that they create, and only they create, to reimburse that.
For how long?
It's an indefinite period, because there's no interest or anything tied to it. It's a hard cap number.
Well, at some point, they won't own any land there, right, because it'll all be developed and sold, right?
Correct.
So does that carry past that somehow?
Well, it would, in most cases, what happens is when a developer comes in and builds matter of fact, all the woodlands that we're in here today, mud districts were created that reimbursed the developer for their infrastructure.
Right.
Because this is in the city of Conroe, they didn't do a mud district, they did a municipal management district.
Right.
Different deal. And so we're using those same dollars that a mud district would or a road utility district would to reimburse that developer. We're doing the same thing as the county. The beauty of this one is it's within the incorporated limits of the city of Conroe. So we don't have any maintenance issues to deal with. So anything that happens in the city of Conroe benefits the county hugely because it's on our time.
Are the finances available online where y'all did the calculations to support that?
Yes, J.R. Moore can give you all those calculations. He did all the calculations.
Right.
I'm kind of speaking for him, but I'm the overall timekeeper we're running out. It's probably going to be the last question.
No.
Now, we've talked a lot about great county that we live in. We're a very profitable county from the standpoint of good home sales and all that. Considering that, I've heard various different comparisons to other counties. How did our debt become so large in comparison with maybe some other counties?
Well,
You've been only for 12 years, so you've got a good overall.
when you look at our debt, and you hear all kind of numbers on debt, and I've talked to Phil Smart, our county auditor the other day, our actual county debt is $350 million, $354 million. A portion of that 354 is some of the toll bonds that or some of the bonds that we sold for the pass-through toll program. And we're getting $17 million a year back from TxDOT on a reimbursement for that project. So that debt is offset by revenue that's coming in from TxDOT. A portion of that debt is our mental health facility that every biennium they allocate $15 million to fund the county for the mental health facility, which covers the debt service on the building and the operational costs. So those two pieces of debt are offset completely by non-ad valorem revenues. If you look at our county budget and the portion of our budget that's paid for, that's used to fund debt service for Montgomery County, it's about 10% of our budget, the ad valorem revenue portion of it. So I mean, think about the number of people that can pay their bills, their house note, car note, college loan, boat payment on 10% of their revenue. Not many people can do that. We're in strong financial shape. The debt picture is not as bad, in my opinion, as people seem to want to make it look when you look at the actual dollars in debt and how many of those dollars are offset by current programs that pay for them outside of our ad valorem revenues.
Well, with what's going on nationally, we're just always going to be very, not just, I mean, everybody's very sensitive about government debt.
Sure, I agree 100%. I got a mom and dad that are on a fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
My dad will laugh and tell you he's on a broke income. They're on a fixed income. I've got a daughter that's a single mom. I think about every vote I cast. I think about that most vulnerable taxpayer. How's it going to impact them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the debt service cost, the debt service component. Are we providing good services for people?
So our national debt currently consumes about 8% of our federal budget. Are you saying that's not a problem?
Well, our national debt,
Our payments from national debt, servicing the debt, consumes about 8% of our federal government's annual budget.
And that's what you were talking about, the 10%.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, servicing the debt.
servicing the debt, but they operate in a deficit every year. We don't. We have a balanced budget that we pass every single year. You know, we're not funding, every piece of debt that Montgomery County has a physical asset to back it up. It's a road, it's a building,
I see what you're saying there.
it's not debt that's created by operational costs.
Yeah. Right. Or welfare.
Or welfare.
Yeah.
have very limited.
We got time for one more question of 2 minutes, and then give Craig's 5-minute closing.
Okay.
We have another candidate coming in.
Okay.
Not one of your opponents, but.
Okay, so with the extension of the toll road, we also there's county judges or commissioners approved the purchase of land to extend Woodlands Parkway,
Yes.
and that was done apparently over the vote of the voters.
No.
So
No, the money that's been used to buy the right-of-way for the Woodlands Parkway extension was from the bond money from 2005. That was money that was voted on in a bond issue in 2005 or 2006. That's where the dollars that came from to purchase right-of-way.
That
for
wasn't
Woodlands
certificate
Parkway.
of obligations?
No. No, Woodlands Parkway, that right-of-way was purchased with bond.
What does CO money go for? I mean, if you don't mind.
go
asking.
ahead.
That was my
I know
question.
$7.5 million, my county commissioner on precinct 4 gave it to a developer for roads. Because my subdivision didn't get that, but where did the rest of it go?
There was two projects. You're talking about the COs for
The
the
CO
road projects?
specifically, yeah.
One of
The
them
last
went-
one.
One of them went to construct the roadway to the airport.
Okay, the
tying
airport
through
road.
Through the industrial park to the airport.
Mhm.
And then one went to construct the roadway to the new stadium over there in East County.
And wasn't there,
Ah.
part of that, wasn't there something to do the runway extension?
There were some COs sold back previously to do some runway extension work for the airport.
Sounds like my precinct got most of that money now, precinct 4.
Yeah,
It was East
and-
County and the developer.
Well, then give some of
Well-
it back.
And I can tell you that, debt for roadways on roads that will ultimately create commercial development. That
Yeah.
will create revenue that will cover the debt service on those COs, to me, makes sense.
Well, it isn't that we're against, it was the fact that the voters just rejected because of lack of planning. Then the county commissioners come back and do part of it anyway. That was the complaint.
And doesn't the law say that has to be obligatory funds?
Well, we had committed to Black Forest to put a $30 million investment on our airport to build that road into the airport. And I think there was a commitment on the part of the commissioner to build that road to the stadium for the donation of the property for the school district over there.
But aren't COs supposedly to be emergency use?
Not necessarily. COs are just another opportunity, a funding mechanism that can be used. Say, for example, if the legislature creates another district court, we have to build a court room for that court. We have to finance that. We don't have the cash on hand to build another court. So we would have to sell COs or certificate of obligations to funding tools, funding mechanism to meet those needs.
So it sounds like the commitment to Black Forest was made before the funding was provided.
It was
That
made.
sounds like
Yeah.
a good plan.
Well, it wasn't contractual, right, but it was a,
It was, I wasn't completely involved in that negotiation, so I know.
Right,
something
yeah.
Commissioner Metter and his precinct had committed to do to get that project on his
Excuse me.
board. Which has had tremendous economic impact on the airport, which again is a huge benefit overall to our bottom line.
right.
Now we need to find that close.
Okay, yeah, 5-minute closing.
Okay.
Is our guest here?
He's Yes.
Okay.
Were you gonna ask about the campaign?
Yeah, you gotta turn,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, turn.
Or
the
hold
camera
on.
Or we could do it afterwards.
Yeah, why don't you just let
Yeah,
us
let's do
let
that.
us
Okay.
close and then we can ask about that.
Okay, just real quickly, I would say that, while I'm certainly concerned about the dollars that we pay in county taxes, and I'm certainly concerned, because I pay them too, my mom and dad, as I mentioned, and my daughter, I've mentioned. The thing that you have to think about, and I had JR run these numbers for me, it's been a long time ago, and he's updated them every year. The average home today in Montgomery County is valued at $205,000, which is pretty high. I mean, I was surprised that was where it was. But that average home, and the only thing I have to work off of is the average. That average home generates about just under $1,000 a year in county taxes at our current county tax rate. That's $80 a month. And I want you to think about what you can get for $80 a month. Can't get cable TV with internet access for $80 a month. Can't get a cell phone for $80 a month. Can't get water, sewer, and garbage pickup for $80 a month. But the services that the county provides are for $80 a month. Our sheriff, our jail, 5 constables, 5 JPs, 7 county courts, or 7 district courts, 5 county courts of law, county attorney, district attorney, county clerk, district clerk, adult and juvenile probation, the libraries, roads, airport, convention center. A lot of services out there. We try to maximize the service that we provide to the residents of this county and minimize the cost. Like I say, I pay those taxes too and don't want to pay a penny more than I have to. And we'll work with every department head to keep their costs down so we can provide services that we need to and not go overboard. To focus as much as we can on infrastructure so that we provide a positive program for growth, for commercial development here that pays our bills, that helps provide job opportunities and future growth for future revenues and for future generations. So with that, I guess I would wrap up what I have to say to you. Just know that we're trying every way we can to take what dollars we ask you to pay and stretch them as far as we can stretch them.
Thank you.